Many things might come to mind when you think of Yellowstone National Park. The incredible views, fresh air, and the supervolcano that lies beneath the park that could eradicate the majority of human population. But one thing you might not think of is the amount of people who put themselves in danger. Various officials have come forward and said that human behaviour is just one of the things they have to worry about. They have said that in recent years people are putting themselves in harm's way, with them noting that one instance was when an individual tried to take a photograph of a bison, only for the animal to charge the person and launch them into the air. The most recent incident that happened a few days ago has angered many people. 3 tourists have been charged and sentenced last week for boiling 3 chickens in a hot spring. Morgan Wathin, a Yellowstone spokesperson for Yellowstone National Park, said the following: 2 Idahoans and a Utah man had 2 cooking pots in a remote part of the park, where they dipped a pair of whole raw chickens into one of the geyser's basin's boiling geothermal features. End quote. When the men stood in front of the judge, one of them said their intention was only to make a dinner. As you can imagine, this didn't go down well with the judge, and all of the men who were aged in their 40s and 50s were given harsh sentences. The fines that all of them received were over $1,000. They also spent a few days in jail and have been banned from entering Yellowstone National Park. Park officials have said though that this behaviour is not uncommon, and each year various people are jailed due to looting and hurting the park's wildlife. Those working at the park have said they've seen people wash their clothes in the hot springs, and have even had people throw money into them, treating them as a sort of wishing well. One official said the following though: "I wish people wouldn't do this, as such a thoughtless action can actually have long-term effects. For example, doing this can cause problems with vents." End quote. The National Park statistics have said that this year's violations have tripled, meaning that over 120 arrests have been made, which resulted in many of those individuals being banned from the national park. Although trying to cook chickens in a thermal spring may not sound like a big deal, officials have said it could have had a bad ending. They said that what many people don't understand is that the crust above the water is extremely thin, and there have been accounts of people falling into hot springs. In fact, earlier this year this happened to one woman. When the woman fell in, the national park was closed to visitors, so park officials have said she was there illegally. When she fell into the hot springs, she suffered various wounds. At the time, the national park had been shut down from visitors since the 24th of March, and although there had been talks about opening it back up to the public, officials have said there were still ongoing talks about what was going on. The woman in question ignored the warnings and was found walking on the Wyoming side of the park. At the time, the individual had not been identified, but she could be seen taking photographs close to Old Faithful. Despite falling in and injuring herself, the woman was able to pull herself out and drive around 50 miles. She was however stopped by a park ranger and airlifted to a burn center at Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center. Park officials have said that even though it's bad she was injured, she may face penalties for not following the rules. They said that everyone else has been doing a good job at staying away from the national park during this time. Surveillance footage has also been released of an individual walking 2 dogs, and it's been suggested this is the person that fell into the thermal spring. However, as of right now this hasn't been confirmed. She entered the park on Tuesday morning. Visitors are also warned by park officials to stay on the boardwalks when walking close to the thermal features. Various people over the years have not listened and have ended up wounding themselves. One thing that officials have said is that activity has increased at Yellowstone, and this includes things such as new erupting vents and surface fractures. Due to this increased activity, park officials had to close a boardwalk in the popular upper basin. This is because getting hit with this water can injure people due to the heat. Researchers recently measured the temperature of the Old Faithful geyser, and they said its average temperature was 169 degrees. The park said the following on its website: Water in hot springs can cause severe or fatal burns, and scalding water underlies most of the thin breakable crust around hot springs. Hot springs have injured or killed more people in Yellowstone than any other natural feature." End quote. One spokesperson said the following about the incidents. "Today, are people behaving more smarter? My cynical streak says no, but we are better in explaining the reasons why we shouldn't do this than we used to be. Still, that doesn't stop people from causing trouble. In some ways, we are no better than the early park tourists, and the problem is there are far more of us." End quote. Many people are annoyed by this news, with the majority of people pointing out the incidents like the chickens don't need to happen. People have access to things like ovens and restaurants, so things like this don't need to happen. The likelihood is that the individuals just wanted to see if this would work. Officials are also annoyed as they've said that sometimes the park has to be closed for a reason, and that it's frustrating when people don't abide by the rules, saying that all it does in the long run is hurt those who do wait. Going on to say that people are also putting themselves in danger for no reason. As of right now, Yellowstone workers have told us to stay away from thermal springs, and to listen for updates about certain areas of the park that may be closed off. So what do you guys make of the people that cooked a chicken in a thermal spring? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.